Hey, everybody, welcome to Let's Be Blunt, a podcast about living and loving everything Blount County, Tennessee.
We're your hosts, Brett Hepner and Eric Rice, the property dads at LeConte Realty, and we're excited to talk more about this great place we call home.
Okay, so this is an exciting adventure for us because we are right now at the Smoky Mountain Heritage Center in Townsend.
Townsend 2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row. We're back-to-back Townsend, and you know, it's well documented Brett and I are big fans of Townsend.
Yes, we are.
But we are on a little different trek today. We are on an educational trek, and I don't think there's any two better people to have here with us than Frank Grafeo, who is the Chief Executive Officer here, and Trevor Lanier, who is the curator. So thank you guys for joining us, and thank you for squeezing behind this table with us.
Before we get into this, a lot of people just listen still, but if you get a chance, go to YouTube, watch it on video because
it's
Frank's worth seeing.
It's gonna be a treat. It's gonna be a treat. Yeah, for sure. Definitely one to watch. Well, thank you guys, and so let's just start out at easy. We'll throw you a little softball here because this is called Let's Be Blunt, or a podcast called Let's Be Blunt, and it's about the people and places and events that make Blount County great. And but we also want to know the connection that you all have with Blount County. So can you give us a little bit, Frank, we'll start with you, just maybe a little bit of your background and how you got here, and then we'll go to you.
Happy to do it, Eric.
All
And
right.
thanks for having us.
Yeah.
And thanks for coming to the Heritage Center. I got to start one thing, Eric, with a little bit of an admonition.
Okay.
It's the Great Smoky Mountains.
Did I say
Yes,
just
yes.
Smoky
Center.
Mountain? No,
Yes.
Great
We just
Smoky. It
started
is the
with
Great Smoky.
Smoky,
Yeah.
and we love Smoky, but we like Great.
GSMHC, Great Smoky Mountain. Yeah, I
It's
got it.
okay. All right. As long as you can
Corrected.
take that without your ego being
No,
injured, we're going to be
Fine. Listen,
good.
if our ego were fragile, we would have quit this a long time ago.
I hear that. Okay, all right, about myself. So I've spent almost my entire career in music. I am a classically trained conductor. People have call me Maestro, by the way. Nobody's done that yet. I've noticed.
We'll call it
We will.
from
Just
here on.
Maestro from now on.
Anyway, so yeah, I moved to Knoxville in 2000 with my family, and I took over the lead role at the Knoxville Opera and did that for several years. I started the Rossini Festival and had a great success with that and enjoyed bringing that to the community.
So you came as the conductor?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. General director and conductor. So then after that, though, I discovered this organization called the Joy of Music School. I was serving on their board, and then I was fortunate to be elevated to the executive director. I did that for 18 years. That's a free nonprofit music school for low-income kids.
Cool.
Absolutely loved that role. But that whole time, my son was being raised by my wife and me in Knoxville, and we were taking him to Townsend all the time and into the Smokies. And you know, you're smiling and nodding because you know
Yes.
how awesome that is and how awesome it is for a kid.
Yeah.
And so he did his first hiking here and his first fishing and his first camping and, you know, just the wonder of nature and the beauty of Townsend, which to me is the most beautiful city in Blount County. I'll be blunt about that.
That's
Very good.
Thank you. I was here when I learned my father died. I was here with my wife on our 25th wedding anniversary. We stayed overnight in Townsend. And of course, so we're in love with the place. And my son is now 21 years old. He's a college student. And this opportunity came along to serve or give back to this place that I'd taken so much from and into my heart and jumped at it. Then I got introduced to Trevor Lanier sitting at the far end of the table. And one of the things that Trevor did was walk me around this space and tell me what is in this soil. And the way this place was founded, the Heritage Center was founded because of an archaeological dig. And I'll let Trevor tell you the details of that. But the short story is people have been in this cove, Tuckaleechee Cove, for 17,000 years.
Oh.
And that blew my mind when Trevor told me that. And then it made me sort of think of this place and the land and just differently. I walk a little bit lighter. Who knows what is underfoot? Certainly archaeologists recovered what they did from the dig so that the highway could be widened here in Townsend. But there's a lot of stuff in the other places too that are holy and sacred and connected to people going back through history and prehistory. And what do you know? A history museum is here to help tell those stories. Trevor, our curator, is here to enhance those stories and be sure they're accurate and that we're the source of knowledge for the Great Smoky Mountains, the people, the history, et cetera. So how could I not love this place?
Yeah. How could anybody not?
Yeah.
That's
amazing.
my short version.
Well, thanks.
Okay.
All right. Trevor, what about you? What's your connection to this place?
Yeah, so my mother's family is actually from Graham County, North Carolina.
Okay.
And I spent a lot of time growing up there, worked for Fontana Village, and that's where I got my start leading guided hikes in the national park. And I told Frank just the other day, this is actually my 30th year doing public programming about history. So it's been a lifelong passion of mine. And growing up in Graham County with my grandparents, my parents telling me all the stories of that area, I just fell in love with the Smokies. I've loved it ever since. And then I had the opportunity to become a seasonal park ranger in the Smoky Mountains. I was actually the first interpretive ranger on top of Mount LeConte. So that was my job, was to hike up the mountain.
What is an interpretive ranger?
The rangers who teach the public and do all the programming.
You had to make that hike every day?
Not every day. So
Okay.
I would hike up at the beginning of my week and spend my work week up at the lodge.
Very nice.
And then hike down. That was my job. So that
So
was,
you
that
win
was awesome.
best commute ever.
Yes.
That is the
Yeah,
best. If you I mean, if you haven't done that hike, incredible hike. It's
beautiful.
It's
a
worth
special
it.
hike. Oh yeah.
It's tough, but it's worth it.
Very worth it. Yeah.
Sorry.
And well, it's actually one of the reasons we're standing here in our Carlos Campbell gallery right now. It's one of the reasons that Carlos and I have a special connection. Was Mount LeConte was the place that made him fall in love with the Smokies and become part of the process of helping make this a national park. And so when I created this exhibit, I kind of reestablished that connection, and really special to me. But moved away to Chattanooga for many years, worked at a museum there, and then this position became available, and I've been here about 6 years now. So it was like coming home, with my family history in the Smoky Mountains and my time at the Park Service.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to lose you here in just a few minutes because you're a very busy guy these days. We've got some celebrations coming up. So first of all, can you kind of tell us what you're working on and why you're going to bail out on us?
I wish you could stay the whole time, Trevor, but I know
it's a big week. It's a busy week. We are preparing our newest gallery, our newest exhibit, to open this Friday at a special reception and then to the public this Saturday on July 4th. It's our commemorative 250th anniversary exhibit, and it tells the story of the Smoky Mountains during the Revolutionary and early Republic eras. Really complex time, a lot of Cherokee history, white settler history, all happening around that time, and we're telling that story. And one of the highlights of that exhibit is a rifle that came to us about 3 years ago, known as Old Death. It was named by its owner, Black Bill Walker. He lived up in what's now Tremont Institute area inside the Smokies.
And this guy was a character.
He was a character. So he named the rifle Old Death because he was a character. He was a storyteller and had 3 wives at one time, at least 24 kids. And,
Now that takes character right there.
Not very smart, but a lot of character.
Well, he had a lot of help on the farm. That's
that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the Appalachian way.
Claimed 150 bear killed, 200 other mammals killed. He was apparently so good with his aim with that rifle that the other locals wouldn't let him join in shooting competitions because they knew he would win. But one of the other family stories about Old Death is that it was used at the Battle of Kings Mountain in October of 1780. And that's something we can't exactly prove. We've had rifle experts look at the rifle for years, for the entire time it's been here, and we can get it to maybe the late 18th, very, very early 19th century. But we can't establish that connection for sure to the Battle of Kings Mountain. But those family stories are really important, and that's part of what we're telling in this exhibit. We're telling that much broader story of the Revolution in the Smokies.
So, Trevor, just real quick, I don't want to skip over the significance of the Battle of Kings Mountain. I don't know that everybody knows about that.
Yeah.
And what Thomas Jefferson said about it. You want to
George Washington and Thomas Jefferson both felt that was a turning point in the war after the fact.
The Revolutionary War.
The Revolutionary War, yeah. It turned the tide against the British Army.
Yeah.
in
Isn't
the
that funny?
South.
That's not. I don't remember that in the history books. Or I don't remember that learning that in growing up, and that's
Yeah.
The battle in North Carolina. Well, I'll let the expert talk about it.
It's
But
probably not the best known battle when you think of everything else in the Revolution, but to Tennessee and North Carolina history and the Southern campaign in the Revolution is very significant. And Tennessee, which was not a state at the time or a colony at the time, contributed what are known as the Over Mountain Men, because they lived over the mountains over here, and they got together a volunteer corps to go to Kings Mountain and fight, and that included John Sevier, who became the first governor of Tennessee. He was at Kings Mountain.
And that was fascinating to me, Trevor. I mean, you've been versed in history your whole life, and to me, it's kind of fresh and new because it's coming from the world of music. But that battle was between Americans, I guess, and other Americans who were loyalists, and they were commanded by a British general. And in fact, that's the only, or maybe the first battle of the Revolutionary War, the only battle, I think, between Americans. There were British loyalists led by a British general, and then these Tennessee and other, I don't know what the word is, secessionists or the wrong word, revolutionaries were fighting him. I probably got
Patriots
that wrong.
was
Patriots, that's right.
the name they often called them. So,
I'm dressed like a patriot. What am I doing? I gotta get this right.
I don't know if it was the only battle, but
I'll let you do the smart
stuff. Historians always hedge their bets.
I get you.
But that was. I guess at the time you could always think of the Revolution that way, that it was the loyalists against the colonists who were seeking independence, and the king finally sent the army over to bolster the loyalists. I mean, it was in some sense you could think of it as a civil war, but we won in the end, so we don't think of it that way anymore.
Yeah.
So, question about the rifle: How did the Heritage Center come to obtain the rifle?
That's a great story.
This is my favorite story.
It's like I was prompted, but I wasn't.
One of the highlights of my career. A gentleman came in several years ago, and I was here doing living history, and he walked in and said, "Do you know Black Bill Walker?" And I said, "Yeah, of course." And he said, "Do you know his rifle, Old Death?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, I've got it." And
wow.
just so you know, whenever a historian hears something like that, our first reaction is, "No, you don't."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what I would think. Yeah.
Prove it, But we kept talking, and a couple of years went by, and he passed away suddenly. But his wife contacted us and said, "I think Old Death ought to come home." The interesting part about the family, the reason he had the rifle, David Steele was his name. His grandfather, Heath Steele, lived in Knoxville. And when he was a little boy, he came up here with his mother. And I don't remember why they were here, but they got stuck with bad weather and couldn't get back to Knoxville. Of course, the roads were just dirt at the time. It was nearly impassable. And the only house nearby where they could spend the evening was Bill and Nancy Walker's house up at Tremont. And so they took him in and let him spend the night, and Bill spent the evening regaling young Heath with his hunting stories with Old Death hanging above the fireplace there. And it made quite the impression, of course. And so Heath grows up, he goes to college in New York, he starts his career there, he's in New York City, and he's walking down the street and sees an auction house auctioning off Old Death, a famous hunter of the Smokies, Black Bill Walker's rifle, Old Death, and hunting kit.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so that that's one of those problems for historians is how did it get there? So one of our rifle experts, I was talking to him, and I didn't tell him any of the conversations I'd had with the Steele family. His name's Randall Pierce. I said, "Randall, what happened to Old Death?" And he got a sad look on his face. He said, we don't know. It's one of the great lost rifles to history. Everybody would love to know where that rifle is, but we don't know. We don't know what happened to it. The last thing anybody could trace about it was that one of Black Bill's sons, who was a musician, was touring with his band and was in New York, and he took the gun with him and sold it in New York. So that's when, when curators start to get a little excited, it's like there's at least a connection.
You're right,
there.
right.
Circumstantial, but there's
how did you contain yourself?
I've gotten good at it over the years. I kind of stay stone-faced.
That's right. Poker face.
Yeah, but anyway, the Steele family, Cindy Steele and her children brought the rifle up. And, of course, then we could see the rifle and compare it to photographs where we know Black Bill is holding the rifle and could actually compare it, and that's it. You know, it's Old Death.
By way of New York City.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want to guide you from wherever you want to go, but again, if you're not watching it on video, there are some items here in front of us.
Yes.
And I
Show
assume
and
they're
tell.
here for a purpose. So
Yeah.
tell us about them.
So as we prepare to premiere this new exhibit this weekend, one of the cool things about this exhibit is we're going to feature some touchable artifacts. I always think, for my love of history, it's always been really significant for me to be able to get up close and personal with history.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to do that. Old Death is at least 230 years old, give or take. So we can't let everybody touch that.
Yeah,
So it's a little fragile, so we're going to keep it under lock and key. But we do have some other artifacts, some reproductions, as well as some original artifacts that you can interact with in this exhibit. And the first up here, and I'll kind of make sure that we can
You're good.
see this on camera here. This is a reproduction of Black Bill Walker's hunting kit that he would have taken with him when he was using Old Death. This reproduction was made by some amazing craftspeople, Eric and Clint. Eric Van Alstyne did the leather work. Clint Byers did all of the horn work. And this represents the hunting pouch made from measurements and photographs of the original. That's the hunting pouch that would have contained the ammunition, the black powder, anything, the wadding, everything that Black Bill would have needed. This is his powder horn. So he would have held the powder in there, and it's got a little cork at the bottom there, a little plug, so he could take that out. And then when he did that, he would measure it in this. That's the, let's see if you can kind of see that there. That's the measure horn.
Yeah.
It's hollow.
It is hollowed out.
Would you be like influencers?
Yeah,
TikTok.
there you go.
Put your hand behind it.
And it's inscribed with Bill's initials, and it's also got these little hatch marks at the bottom that would allow him to measure the black powder so he didn't overload his gun, or underload it for that matter, so he could actually measure the grains of black powder that he needed.
Wow.
And then we have
Very
also,
advanced tools, really.
Yes, yeah, very clever. So this is a really cool piece that we just got in a few weeks ago. This is a reproduction of a bear pistol. And given the prevalence of bear hunting in the Smoky Mountains,
I'm not shooting a bear with a pistol. Maybe that one.
With this pistol, you could. Yeah. But you definitely had to be certain. Of course, bears are very quick.
Yeah, and you can't reload.
You can't reload very quickly.
Probably got a kick to it, I would guess.
Oh yeah. So this is a bear pistol, late 18th century, from this region. And there was quite a few gunsmiths in southern Appalachia at the time. So this is the sort of thing that they would have made for a hunter. Somebody would have basically placed an order, so make me a bear pistol.
What's the range on something like that?
Not very far. This is
you gotta. I mean,
30 yards. Yeah.
I've seen a bear run.
Oh yeah. Yeah. If you miss that first shot, I mean, they're gone. You'll never see it again.
Yeah.
This is a really cool piece that was made by Mike Whitehouse out of Kentucky. He's makes black powder rifles and pistols like this, exact reproductions. And Mike Whitehouse is also producing an exact replica of Old Death.
Oh, okay.
So we will have a touchable, fireable version of Old Death, and that's going to feature prominently on July 4th. So,
cool.
Yeah, if you could be here on July 4th, we are actually going to have a descendant of Black Bill Walker's firing the replica of Old Death as part of our July 4th concert. So that's going to be really cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah. And then the last thing I've got here, this is an original artifact. It's an iron axe. You can see there, and it's actually inscribed with the initials of the maker. This is probably late 18th century, and again, this is an original. But it's iron, so it's a lot safer to touch and handle repeatedly. So we will let people touch this. And it's called a trade axe because this is something that would have been traded between white settlers and Cherokee people throughout this region.
It was found here somewhere? I mean,
No, this was obtained by the museum.
Okay.
So it's not found here.
So, and I know you're probably going to have to rush off here pretty quick, but can I ask you one question? Because I sort of know what a curator is and does, but can you kind of, for those listeners out there who may not know, can you kind of define that for us and tell us what you do kind of on a regular basis.
I can tell you 3 different things.
Okay.
The
One of
first
them will
off,
be the
that-
truth.
One of them is true. Yeah.
They're all true. Well, the first is that the curator is one of those terms that it's whatever the museum says. It
Okay.
is.
Fair enough.
But yeah, most frequently, and what I really do here is I'm in charge of the historical artifacts, the collection, the historic collection, as well as a lot of the programming, exhibits, and interpretation of those artifacts and stories. But curators, in different museums, you might have a curator of collections, a curator of admissions, a curator of guest services, and things like
Okay.
that. But it's somebody who focuses on that area.
And do you go out and get these items, or like do you search for these items? This is what my idea is, so I'm going to go out and collect these things for the museum.
On a very limited basis, yes. Okay. We have limited storage, and that's a problem that all museums, including the Smithsonian, face, is where are you going to put all that stuff?
Right.
So I'm very careful. We have what's called a collections policy that dictates what we collect, what we take, what we might suddenly find in our collection for whatever reason that we want to send to somebody else, another museum, something like that. So yeah, there's all sorts of things that come into play when somebody says, "I've got an artifact you might want."
Yeah.
It sends a lot of things into action.
Yeah,
And-
yeah.
Sure you do.
Yeah.
That's the first one, right?
Yeah.
So the display we're sitting in front of, you said, I think is the second newest behind the one that's about to.
Well, so if you don't count the one that's about to premiere in 2 days, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So is that your area of expertise? You decide what you want to display in the museum as well?
Yeah, but I definitely don't like to be unilateral or I'm definitely a collaborator and talk to everybody from our staff here at the museum. I listen out for things that guests or volunteers might say they'd like to see. We have a great relationship with the National Park Service and their historic collections. So we talk to their curator, Baird Todd, about things that we might want to display here, and that's actually how this came about. It's in partnership with the Park Service. We have a great relationship with the Eastern Band of the Cherokee to talk about what we might exhibit there as well. So yeah, it's not in a vacuum.
And really successfully, Trevor collaborates with Tommy Stokes, brilliant designer, and you can talk a little bit about that too.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm the academic. I do all of the writing, and so with the Carlos Campbell exhibit, there were 3,200 photographs. Wow. And what you see behind us here is the majority of the exhibit. So I had to whittle all of that down. So I literally spent weeks going through those photos over and over again, distilling the story down. So I selected the photographs, wrote the story of the creation of the national park and Campbell's role in that. But Tommy is the visual artist who brings this to life. So yeah, he is an amazing designer, and I always feel like I do sort of an information dump on Tommy and say, "Here's all the language in the photos. Now make it pretty."
Do something with
He
that.
does. Yeah, he does a fantastic job.
And so just to wrap up what's behind it, Carlos Campbell is the photographer
Yes.
in
Well,
the area?
he was somebody who became involved with the creation of the national park. He worked for the Knox Chamber of Commerce. And somebody took him up Mount LeConte, and he suddenly fell in love and thought, "Yep, this has got to be the national park." And the official photographer of the national park movement was Jim Thompson from Knoxville. He's the one who created the really large glass plate negatives that were blown up into huge photographs that were sent to Washington to show everybody what was special about the Smokies. What I love about Campbell was he was really the guy behind the scenes that was taking snapshots, not formal portraits, not formal photographs, but just documenting. He was documenting that process. And what you see here in this exhibit, a lot of really familiar faces like Colonel Chapman, Chapman Highway, everything around Knoxville that's called Chapman, that's the guy. And there's just a snapshot of him here. Eleanor Roosevelt, FDR, the Walker sisters, if you're familiar with the story of the Walker sisters, and Little Greenbrier. Campbell documented all of that. He just photographed it all. All the famous places. We're sitting in front of a huge mural of chimney tops. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, Campbell just documented all of that. It was a wonderful record that he kept.
And his little camera is right here.
Yeah, the camera he used is right behind us here. Yeah.
All these pictures in that one little camera.
Yep.
Well, this has been amazing. I know you got a lot of work to do between now and hopefully when this thing comes out on Friday morning. So thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
All of the
Thanks for being
information.
This place is great.
Really, really amazing. And best of luck to you.
Thank you.
That's right,
Thank
yeah.
you. I appreciate it. Come
Thanks
back
for
and
your
see
time.
it.
We will.
Yeah,
Thank
all
you.
right.
All right.
Good stuff.
All right. Well, this is a first for us, I guess. Is we've had two guests before, but we haven't really had one leave and then cut it and move to. But there's all kind of.
It feels
firsts
like
for this.
every week there's a first.
There
for
is.
us, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. See how it goes.
Making history.
In a couple of
In a
years, we
history
will
museum.
have experienced just about everything.
So, Frank is.
I'm here.
I'm trying
I'm right
to
here.
think.
Frank Grafeo. That's my name.
I'm trying to think how to best describe it. Like I said,
Should we have Frank stand up to get the full?
Can we
the
get
full
the
effect?
full-
Can we do
Happy
that?
to.
yeah.
I mean, look at.
Dressed as a colonial era gentleman
Yes, you are.
because, of course, the 4th of July.
Yes,
That's right.
Celebrating
Which
250th
will be the day after this comes out. So,
Got the tails and everything.
yeah, I mean, as far as a little behind the scenes, when we were walking through earlier, Frank was getting his pants cinched up from behind.
Yeah, there's not a belt on these pants, but there are threads.
I guess that's a good problem to have.
I suppose. Well, I'll tell you, it's good to have someone to help you do that because I couldn't have done it by myself.
So you are the CEO,
Yes.
and with nothing, I mean, I don't mean to belittle, nothing but a musical background and a love for this, I guess,
Yes.
is what brought you to it. So
Absolutely.
how's it been?
It's been fantastic. I've been here a year and a half. And I described earlier what really drew me to this place and to the organization and to Blount County and Townsend. I still live in Knoxville. We might relocate here. We're still considering it. It's like a magnet for me. And one of the things I've always specialized in as a musician and as a conductor is, when you're taking an orchestra score, Beethoven, Mozart, whatever it is, you are interpreting that. Mm-hmm. You're interpreting a piece of history. Mm-hmm. Now, it happens in a moment, and it's over. You're done. The audience applauds. You're done. Interpreting history in this way, in a museum and our historic village and on our amphitheater stage through music, that's a little bit more permanent and has a mission behind it that, of course, Townsend is behind and Blount County is behind. And anybody who cares about the Smoky Mountains can get behind, because we're here to interpret and talk about the people, stories, the lives, the culture, the community of the Great Smoky Mountains. And so it has, in one sense, a little more physical permanence than music. I could hand you a score of an opera. Don't think you'd get much out of it. It has to be performed, right? I could hand you a piece of paper that tells you the story of Black Bill Walker or Carlos Campbell, but it's quite another thing to put them on a wall or interpret them in our 18 structures. There's a big historic village right behind the museum here.
It's amazing.
With structures of all kinds, not just log cabins, but of course, millwright shop, there's a sawmill, there's a still house, smokehouse.
Let's actually, since you're getting into it, Great Smoky Mountain Heritage Center is what, I mean, we're sitting in obviously what I would describe as a museum.
This is the museum part of it. Yes.
Right. But there's more to it than that. So
Two other big elements.
what else?
Like I was saying, the historic village is another aspect of it. And that represents primarily the white settlers, okay, the people who came here when the Cherokee were already here. Some people refer to them as pioneers. They built a living. They occupied the territory. There were conflicts and interaction and cooperation, but mostly conflict with the people who were already here. And then there's also the struggle they had against the land and nature, et cetera. So building their homes from the ground up and then establishing a community that was reliant on one another. Whole subcultures developed around churches, for example. And we have a beautiful chapel in the historic village right here, and around survival. And some of it was crude and rough and difficult, and some of it was a little bit more refined. And cities like Maryville were created and, became a part of the legacy and the heritage of this area. Same time, there's that thread and the stories to be told about the Cherokee, and that we have to work very hard and earnestly to be authentic about. It's quite one thing to stand here and identify something as Cherokee or Native is quite another thing to do that with a voice that is accepted, that is reliable and well thought out. It's a whole culture that we are interacting with. We don't pretend that we are Cherokee people, but the story must be told.
Yeah.
When the white settlers arrived in Tuckaleechee Cove, like I said earlier, other people had a 17,000-year-old start.
Yeah.
And so we want to represent that as best we can.
Certainly.
Now, the third part is our amphitheater. Again, it's an aha moment when people visit the Heritage Center and they walk in here and they take a turn and they go out the side of the museum lobby and they see this giant space, a performing space.
Yeah.
You can't see it from the road, but it's got a big stage. 500 people can fit in and around it. And that's number 3. Stories are told through music, that I was referring to earlier, in a unique way. You can't really, like I say, hand someone a piece of music and say, what do you think? You got to perform it.
Yeah.
So that's why we have the stage. And part of what Trevor and I are putting together is authentic representation of the music of the Great Smoky Mountains. And we've got some partnerships coming up that we're really excited about.
Nice.
Who are your patrons? Who? A lot of times, my wife and I, have this conversation all the time. We'll say, the Smoky Mountains are in our backyard, and I think this is probably true for a lot of people that live around here. We don't take full advantage of it. We don't go out, and we might come and go out to eat or something like that. But do we hike? Do we come to the Heritage Center? Like all of these things. So I'm wondering are people coming from other places to walk through the museum, or is it mostly folks from Blount County or from this region?
We have a lot of visitors from Atlanta and from Nashville and Ohio, oddly enough.
Ohio.
Yeah, people planning their vacations.
Yeah.
They love to come here. When I walk in the building, we have a big covered porch here at the Heritage Center, and there's rocking chairs.
Yeah.
I see someone sitting there in a rocking chair. I feel, when you go on vacation, you finally plop in a rocking chair.
Right.
You got that look on your face. I see that look a lot.
Relaxation. Right?
Yeah, and I say to them, where are you visiting from? Because I know they're visiting.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they'll tell me their story. They're from Florida, Texas, Ohio, New Orleans, you name it. And they're just enjoying that moment because the view from our porch is gorgeous. And then they step inside and they experience things like this that they maybe never anticipated. They get out into the historic village and see those structures that were hand-built by people and moved here from a 20-mile radius. We have kind of like an orphanage of buildings from the region. And then the amphitheater for concerts in the evenings in the warm months, obviously. So those visitors, we're thrilled to be able to present them something that we have to remember they may have never seen before.
Yeah.
And that's a responsibility for us, but we take that on joyously.
I feel like we could ask questions, and I know Eric does great research and has questions, but I also feel like we could just turn you loose, Frank. And so, what do you want us to? What do you want to tell us?
I want to do a quiz.
That's cheating, Eric. That's
Well,
cheating.
we are-
If
I'm
you
just
don't-
getting it closer in case we need
Hey,
to
now
read.
those are the answers. Don't you can't, man.
No,
All right.
man,
All right,
come
you
on.
guys. I'm going to stump the smart.
We're
guys.
not going to. No,
Stump the property dad.
You will easily stump
A
us.
new feature on the show is Stump the Property.
This is going to
That
be
is good.
embarrassing. Yeah.
Yes, it will be embarrassing.
Because of America 250, obviously, we're
Okay.
all in the midst of that
Right.
and enjoying it very much. All right, here's the first question for you guys. What is the official term for our nation's
Brett knows
250th
this. Brett knows
anniversary?
this. He knows it.
2026.
Semi-sesquicentennial.
That is incorrect. Next, Eric, you want to take a shot at it?
I would have said that
I've
incorrectly.
heard also that it's called something a semi. Quincentennial.
That's it, semi-quincentennial.
Yes, I've heard both of those.
The quincentennial part means 500
Right.
years.
Semi.
And then semi means half.
Half
Yes.
of it. Okay.
Half of 500 is 250.
I get half
I'll
credit
give you
for that.
credit. All right,
Thank
half
you.
credit. All right, all right. Okay. Did the Continental Congress actually vote for independence on July 4th?
Oh, this is yes or no. This was
I would
yes or
say
no?
no.
actually it's
Or
no. It was before that.
Exactly. You want to take a shot at which day it was?
No.
July 2nd. 2
Oh,
days
yeah.
earlier. So the formal
Tomorrow.
text of the Declaration of Independence was adopted on July 4th. That is the day it was adopted, but the vote was on the 2nd.
When was it signed? Was that on the 4th?
The 4th, yes. All right. How many people lived in the United States in July of 1776? Take a stab.
July
I'll get you.
1776.
I'll give you if you're in a 500,000, I'll give you
Half a
credit.
million. A million seems like a wide range.
in the U.S. in July.
I'm going to guess 6 million.
Okay, that's your.
I'll say 8 million.
Both way over. Only 2.5 million people.
See,
That's
like
less
I
than the
said.
current population of Tennessee.
I would have guessed smaller, but when you gave us a half
When
a
you gave
million
it- yeah,
range,
half a
it
million,
seemed
I
like
think
maybe
I
it should
did
have been
think.
bigger.
I shouldn't have. I should
Okay.
have influenced you that
You
way.
did influence.
All right. So, okay. Why did the original Star Spangled Banner flag have 15 stripes and stars instead of 13? Now, that's a tough one. I didn't know this one until
The 13 was for the colonies, but I don't know why it was.
it was 15 when Francis Scott Key wrote the poem, "O Say Can You See by the Dawn's Early Light." Why was it 15?
It was 15 colonies when he wrote that?
Yes.
Oh.
It was 15 colonies?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But the original
And that's
13.
why. The original 13, and
Oh,
there
and
were
it-
two states that had been added by that time, by the time
gotcha.
of that battle, which wasn't in 1776. That battle was in 1814, actually. There were two states added. So the original plan was to add a star and a stripe to the flag every time a colony joined. But Congress figured out pretty quickly, this is going to get out of hand. So they just kept the original 13 stripes and opted to just add a star
stars.
for each state. So we're, of course, we're up to 50 now.
Now we're, yeah.
50, yeah.
All right, last question. This is going to be...
Joey Tribbiani said 56, by the way, but that's a side note.
All right.
How
Okay.
you doing?
Which two original patriots and patrons of our nation died on the exact same day? Original founding fathers.
Wow.
They died on the exact same day.
Is John Hancock one of them?
No? It's a good guess.
George Washington?
No?
Thomas Jefferson?
Yeah, it's one.
Okay, Jefferson's one.
And the next one is a president who followed
Adams.
Jefferson. Exactly.
Oh, look at you, Eric.
And Jefferson.
I've caught up.
I give you credit for that.
But get this, they died on the same day. You know what that day was?
July
4th.
Was it?
1826.
Okay.
Huh.
Do the math on 1826 to 1776.
80 years?
50
no,
years.
50 years.
So
That's
exactly
quick math.
200 years ago on July 4th, those two died. And here's a little bit of even more trivia, drilling down. In Massachusetts, John Adams was dying, and his final words were, "Thomas Jefferson survives." He was wrong. Jefferson had died 5 hours earlier in Virginia
Oh, wow.
Well, so,
on the same day.
Were they friends?
They were friends and then enemies and then friends.
Okay.
Yeah. They had a great, interesting
I thought that there was
political-
an enemy time.
Yeah,
frame in
they
there.
were. I guess is that the definition of frenemy? I don't know.
Frenemy.
Is that right?
the original. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so you asked
good
me
stuff.
about what's going on. Okay,
Yeah.
we got a big concert planned for July 4th.
Yeah.
This is our little flyer. Probably doesn't look so good on camera, but I'm going to show it anyway.
Yeah.
45-piece band will
Now,
be on
this
the
is
stage.
here on site. You're talking
right
about. Yeah.
here on
At
our
the
stage in the amphitheater, playing John Philip Sousa marches, and as
Incredible,
described
yeah.
earlier by Trevor, we're going to fire Old Death replica, fired by a descendant of Black Bill Walker, as the first shot heard around the world that, of course, started the Revolutionary War symbolically. We're going to sing the national anthem. We've got the biggest American flag you have ever seen in your life on the roof of the facility. In fact, it's right up there.
It's up there now?
Oh, yeah. We'll take you out
See
there and
that
show it.
before we go.
Yeah.
When you're sitting in our audience of the amphitheater, it's off to the right. You cannot miss it.
Do you get most excited about the amphitheater and that telling stories through that music? I
That's
mean,
a legit question.
That's like
Yes.
tying your two careers together.
Yeah.
right there.
Exactly is.
Yeah,
And
I
so,
can see that.
yeah, I am loving these opportunities to extract music and traditions from a hill or a holler in the Smokies that says this. Maybe it's North Carolina, maybe it's Tennessee, and the traditions in music that are really strong. Culture is what you practice, and a lot of that is music, and heritage is what you preserve. The combination of those two serves music so well because you practiced it back in the day. If we don't recreate it today, we're not preserving it. So I love telling stories through music.
Yeah.
And having music. And we've got concerts lined up galore. So our website will tell you all the stories of what's going on.
And you always hear that back in the day, before they wrote things down, they would sing them to remember them.
Yeah.
And to this day, when I hear I could hear a song that I hadn't heard in years, and it like I'm singing along with it, like because I still remember it.
It's so connected
Preserves
to
that memory.
memory and
Yeah.
experience. Yeah, music is very strong that way. Okay, another bit of trivia.
Uh-oh.
Revolutionary era trivia. Well, I'm not going to try to stump you, but I'll
Tiebreaker.
tell you a story. All right, fine. I can't come up with a question
No,
around
that's
this,
fine.
but
That's fine.
But the song Yankee Doodle was actually started by the British soldiers to make fun of American troops because they thought it was fashionable to stick a feather in their hat. They thought they were being chic, and so they mocked American soldiers. Well, American soldiers said, "Mock away. We're embracing it." So they embraced the tune, and they added verses to mock the British and to pump up their General George Washington. And the song stuck, and it's, of course, become an emblem of our independence and our spirit. Isn't that fun? And
Is
we're
it
playing that on
macaroni?
the
Is
concert.
macaroni in that song, or did I make we make that
called
up?
it
Okay,
macaroni. Using an Italian
I didn't know
word
if those were the real.
was chic, right? So they're
Yeah.
mocking them and saying, "Oh, put a feather in your hat."
Called
Use
it
an
macaroni.
Italian word. You think you're fancy? You're a fool. The American said, "Fine, we're good. We're going to use that song on you."
That's hilarious.
Perfect.
All right. I feel like we jumped away from what's going on here on July 4th. You said the concert.
Yeah, the concerts.
Well,
What else do we have?
Trevor, our curator, we spoke with earlier,
Yeah.
his exhibit will be debuting on July 4th.
we got to kind of sneak preview of that.
Of
It's
course.
I
really
think you're on the back.
Oh, well, that's not me, but he's dressed like I am.
He is dressed like you are.
Colonial
so
era guy.
there you go.
But we have the military voices of East Tennessee. A chorus will be singing with the big band, vocal soloists. We're going to play, like I say, John Philip Sousa is the guy who really stirs me up for American music, and other songs that are just based in history and excitement. Oh, George M. Cohan, you may have never heard of him, but he wrote "I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy."
I know
All
that
of
song.
those terrific American tunes. But yeah, it's just going to be a really fun. You're going to get choked up. We got a great visitor coming back from South Bend, Indiana, who actually is from Townsend. His name is General Robert A. Thibault, and he was a 3-star general in the Marines, which is like the second biggest dog there is in the Marines. Townsend's own beloved figure. He's going to be our military announcer as we salute our troops and veterans and active duty military. There's just a whole lot to it. And it's all jammed into 1 hour. It starts at 8 p.m. It's over by 9. Why? Because there's fireworks in Townsend. And everybody's got to get down there to see them. So, yeah, we're part of the whole celebration here in Townsend.
And
The
hopefully
best
it'll
part
have
of Blount County.
cooled off just a little bit because I know it's going to be hot this weekend. But we were talking about this on our way up here. Coming to a museum is a little like going to a movie because it's going to be 112 degrees outside. Come in, get nice and cooled off. It's enjoyable. Just take it easy, walk through, learn something about East Tennessee and the Great Smoky Mountains, and then hit the concert and
concert at
fireworks in the evening.
Yeah, we're giving away American flags to the first 300 people in the door, so bring the kids. They'll love it. But yeah, you're right. There's refuge and solitude and quiet in the museum. You can read and enjoy and the history at your own pace and get out there and just boom, ba with the band.
So, if you're coming to the great Smoky Mountain Heritage Center, tell us where you're located, how to get here, and also we always ask about social media or websites or anything like that. So, tell us about that.
If you're driving in from Maryville, for example, and you come to Townsend, it's the only signal after you leave Maryville. Don't turn left. Just go another half mile.
Like you're going into the park.
Yeah, like you're going into the park. We're about the last thing on the right. We have a lot of land. It's 13 and a half acres here. The first thing you'll notice is just a big open grassy area with a couple of cabins on it.
Yeah.
But behind that is our museum, historic village, and of course the amphitheater for our great performances.
What else we noticed actually, as far as driving in, was 3 signs that say Great Smoky Mountain Heritage Center this
glad
way,
you saw
them.
which helped. Yes.
It does help. But then our website is GSM, which stands for Great Smoky Mountain, heritagecenter.org. Easy to find. But just Google us. You know, we're out there.
Yeah.
We've got social media campaigns, et cetera. I don't know if you've seen the Facebook one where there's this Revolutionary era guy, kind of dressed like me, is making his way from Maryville to Townsend with his rifle, and he's reading the signs, and he finally arrived. And anyway, it's a cute little way of drawing attention to what we're doing to celebrate America's 250 and to bring people here.
And it doesn't just stop at the America's 250. Obviously, you're open year round. I mean, people can visit at any time and come see the village, the museum, and you have concert series that goes on at the amphitheater. We were looking at some of your artists.
Yeah, it's a great series. Again, it's focused mostly on Americana and roots and heritage music and bluegrass, newgrass, etc. But we got one concert is completely sold out already, but I'll talk about it anyway. It's an Eagles tribute band.
Oh.
They sell out every year.
Yeah.
People just absolutely love them.
Yeah.
They're called On the Border. But we have we're going to be featuring Richie Owens in an acoustic trio. Richie is the first cousin of Dolly Parton. Plays in her band, excuse me, and is a tremendous musician and storyteller. So talk about a guy that's connected with Smokies. He will tell stories from his heritage and history. And, the Parton family is pretty amazing.
Dolly may show up.
And
who knows?
I'm not going to say that, but it would be cool if she did. And artists like that who interpret and talk, and great musicians. Of course, I'm not going to let a bad musician get up on that stage. So there's a lot to look at. The website tells the story of who's going to be there all the way into September. There's a lot to enjoy on the stage at the Heritage Center.
I have one more question.
Yes.
And then we can open it up to what have we talked about.
Yeah.
What has the, you've been here a while. You've come from the music background. But this place has been here a while. What is the biggest challenge for? I don't know if it's unique to this spot or maybe just museums in general. What's the challenge? And then how can this or have the Blount County community helped you overcome that challenge?
Yeah. Well, overall, the most attractive thing to anybody these days is this thing right here, a phone.
Yeah.
It's got a screen on it. It's got audio. You put your headset in and it sounds amazing. But I know that families, they're always struggling with what their kids are going to get into, right?
Yeah.
When you get them here, they can't use their phones because there's so much to look at. They won't want to. That's the challenge, is to say to the family, get them here. Part of the reason we offer field trips to every school in Blount County, and we've had every school in Blount County bring their kids here. And so many people, adults, when I talk to them about the Heritage Center, they say, I was there when I was a kid. I loved it.
Yeah.
Well, it's gotten bigger and better and more awesome. And more interactive, like this artifacts that Trevor had earlier. You get to put your hands on these things. Not everything, of course, in the museum is touchable. When you get out into the structures in the historic village, you're going into a furnished space that looks just the way it did 100 years ago, 200 years ago, and maybe feeling a little competitive. When you go into John Oliver's cabin in the park, it's unfurnished.
Yeah.
So we have a little bit of an edge, I say, with a little bit of humor. But honestly, the see, feel, and hear experience is what museums are all about. And we're not just a museum. So they say, get out there in the historic village and touch a machine or touch a building that was made by someone who carried that log there, and then get on the stage and hear stories and traditions that if we don't keep performing them, they're going to go.
Yeah. So I'm going to steal one of Eric's questions that I saw on the way here.
Sure.
And this is our last podcast. We talked to somebody about picking their favorite. It was like picking your favorite kid, and this may be in that same realm.
Yeah.
But if you're here and you're in a hurry and you want to be sure to see a couple of things, what would you say to make sure to see?
Well, this new exhibit is fantastic. And the one that Trevor's debuting, Independent Nations, tells us Revolutionary era story of Cherokee and the Americans and the frontier people, I guess is maybe we want to call them then. That's fantastic. There's touchables in that exhibit. Really, those are the fresh, new, bleeding edge offerings that the Heritage Center has. So yeah, those things for sure. But there's so much here. There's a transportation gallery. You go in there and see various forms of transportation all the way back to on foot, all the way up through the railroad. The railroad made this place possible, made Townsend happen. We have exhibitry that plays that story. So yeah, those three things I think are the coolest. A lot of the, I don't want to be sexist, but a lot of men really like to go into the transportation gallery because there's cool machines and cars in there. And, so yeah, that's something for the whole family.
I remember loving the village, just walking through the village, just everything about it. Just it was very cool.
It's evocative. You go back in time.
Yeah.
Walking in with the thought in mind of, could you live here in the winter?
Somebody actually lived here. In the middle of the winter.
Yeah.
At least one of the cabins has old newspaper on the walls on the inside that the families would paste up there like paper mache for the winter.
Insulation.
Yeah. And then in the spring, you peel it off every spring. It's just mind blowing.
Wow.
Yeah.
People lived like that. 6 kids upstairs and mom and dad downstairs in one room.
Yeah.
Actually,
Really
one
great.
more thing I thought of that we cannot get out of here without mentioning Cat Stevens.
Oh, Cat
Oh
Stevens.
yeah, we have a museum cat.
A museum cat.
Yeah, he has a big following online and also among the people who visit the museum. He got the name Cat Stevens because he shows up on our stage sometimes. And
Like during the
jams-
concert.
Yeah, he does. He likes to jam with the musicians.
That's hilarious.
He keeps the area rodent free, and he's a good hunter. Super affectionate beast. He's a tuxedo cat. And,
cool.
He was donated to us, honestly, by a family across the street who wasn't able to care for him. And Trevor was the first person who took him into his arms. And Trevor is the only person now who can cradle him on his back in his arms. He will not let anyone else do that.
Oh, really?
But you can pet him to his heart's content. He's
He
a
and
great
Trevor
cat.
are buds.
Yeah, they are buds.
That's
That's
good.
cool. Oh, well, so come back for the museum, for the village, for the concerts,
yeah.
and for Cat
For
Stevens.
Cat Stevens, if for no other reason at all. We
So
love
Eric,
that.
Eric touched on it. What have we not asked you that you want to share? Anything?
Well, the Heritage Center is a cultural treasure for Blount County.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in Blount County realize that, but in my mind, it's not enough. Okay. So, and the best way to experience is to show up. So I guess the question is, how do you really get the best out of the Heritage Center? It's not our website. It's showing up.
Yep.
And then telling people about it. If you visited here as a kid, come back. It's bigger and better, and you'll get more out of it as an adult than you ever did as a kid. It's like, in your old English class, they made you read a novel when you were young, Catcher in the Rye or something like that.
good.
Read it again as an adult. It means a completely different thing. You'll have a similar kind of experience at the
That's a
Heritage
good
Center if you
analogy.
come
I
back.
like
That's
that.
really
Yeah.
good. Well, we're going to tell as many people as we can. So we appreciate you having us here today. This has been educational and fun
Good, thanks.
and
Thanks for letting me dress
enlightening.
up for you, too.
Oh,
Yeah,
please.
well,
we thought that was every day though. So.
Nah.
You're gonna make future guests a little jealous or a little nervous.
We'll
Maybe
reset the
both.
bar.
Yeah. So, well, good. Well, happy 4th of July. Best of luck this weekend with everything that's going on. I know you're going to be very, very busy.
We are. Happy
Thanks for
birthday,
taking-
America.
Yes,
That's
happy
right.
birthday, America. And thanks for taking time with us.
Thanks, Frank.
Pleasure.
Wow, what a trip to Townsend. Back-to-back weeks in Townsend.
And we said to each other as we walked out of the great Smoky Mountain Heritage Center, the view of that's looking up, that's looking away from the Smokies, even up into where the Foothills Parkway is.
We were looking essentially over the company distilling roof. Where
Yes,
we
we were that. Yes.
which was fun.
There were cars in the parking lot because it wasn't a Monday.
It was not a Monday.
Anyway, yeah, I mean it's
Ambulance going by my house.
fine too.
Just making sure.
Shocking because
Yeah, what a great interesting duo that is. I mean, man, I think that would be a kind of a hard job. It's got to be a job that you really, really love,
yes,
and it's convincing people to come and kind of take part in that. When they get there, they love it. Like we walked through there and we're like, 10 minutes kind of walking through. Oh man, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. Oh wow, that's and so I think when you get there, you're amazed by it, but it's trying to convince people, hey, this really educational and is also really awesome. Come see it.
yeah, and they do a great job. I mean, the displays are great. As he gave credit to the guy that helps him design it. But yeah, we walked back. I mean, there's a couple of places in there that have rebuilt basically a replica of a log cabin and what it was like to live in there a couple hundred years ago.
Yeah.
Not for the faint of heart.
Not for the fan. Well, I think your comment was, I'll never complain about my mattress again.
That's right. They had a straw mattress on a wooden frame. Yeah, it did not look comfortable, and it was about 5.5 feet long.
Yeah. Yeah, we couldn't have. Neither one of us could have slept like angled and still fit in the bed. It was like, yeah,
Maybe people were smaller back then.
I my wife could probably fit in it. So,
She could fit in it now, yeah.
so
Um,
yeah, but it was very cool, and they've got a lot going on this weekend. Of course, this weekend, but and on through the fall, I was looking at all of the things that were going on with the America 250, and I mean it extends into the fall. But
There's
they're there every week.
they where were we? And they gave us the passports for the. I mean, there's
And we were yeah, at
that's
the
chamber, that's right, wasn't it?
yeah, at the partnership.
Yes.
Well-
And so you can go around and do these things, and I mean, that's the kind of thing that gets me. It's like, oh, I need to cross things off. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to go do that just because I need to cross it off. And it gives you an opportunity. Like if you'd been like, oh, I normally wouldn't go to the Great Smoky Mountain Heritage Center, but I need to cross it off my passport. So let's go down there. And when you leave, you're like, hey, that was cool.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And you won't be disappointed if you go there. It's, like he was saying, I went, I think I went out with my leadership blunt class, but I'm pretty sure at least one of my kids, if not two, went to the Great Smoky Mountain Heritage Center when they were in grade school, and they loved it. And you get a chance to see things that you never see, and they're very interactive, and they try to be, let you touch things and hold things, and I don't know, it's just it's a cool spot, and you just got to convince people to get out there and go, and it's worth it.
I agree. I mean, yeah. And it, like I said, it's in Townsend, for gosh sakes. That's
Took us
reason enough to go.
Took us 20 minutes. I bet I couldn't get to like Foothills Elementary from here in 20 minutes because I had to go back to Food City.
Yeah. And don't mind us. We're doing a little maintenance.
Sorry.
Better?
Yeah,
We could see that, by the way.
I know. It's my camera was a little grimy. So,
But actually, worth mentioning because I'm sure that our avid listeners out there are like, hey, wait a minute. They probably said two things. Last week, they're like, hadn't it been 3 weeks? And
Right.
this week, they're like, hey, it's only been a week. Well, both right.
yes.
We intended, and for some reason, we're getting old, so we just thought it was supposed to be last week, and it was supposed
Well,
to be 2 weeks.
you also had some things going on
I did.
at the Hebner house. You've had a busy summer.
An expensive summer. It's the same thing. Yes, it is. Fortunately, I only have 2 daughters, so
Yes, but
Uh,
one of our listeners,
one's going to get married.
Caroline's getting married. We're excited for her. Yeah, so yeah, you had a little bit going on there, and I've had some things going on too, and we forgot and we missed a week, and then we're catching up and back on schedule this week.
And
so.
if people are asking why are they catching up, it's because we had to put this out the day before the 250, celebration, and this was
Actual July 4th, yeah, I mean, well, we
Seemed
could
like-
have put it out in 2 weeks from now, but too late,
right.
So
So, but
the concert will be well
since
worth
we're
it.
doing it, since we did it so fast, we're not going to bother Michelle because she's got things going on as well.
She just gave us an update, so we're
But
so what
since,
do you have?
yeah, I was going to say it's now July, so 6 months of the year has passed, and I always like to compare, especially landmarks, quarter of the way through, halfway through, which is where we are now. So,
The semi-annual.
yeah. So I went and looked at a couple of things. Here's 4 things that I wrote down that I thought were interesting.
All right.
Absorption rate we talk about, which is if nothing else comes on the market, how fast will everything sell?
Yeah.
That's in there. That's out there now. And we've talked before about a healthy one being, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, something like that. But it got down to less than half a month.
Yeah.
Last year at this point, it was just over 3 months, which I think is interesting here. And now it's 2.7. Absorption rate's actually gone down 11%. So there's less inventory at this, to be sold at this pace than there was last year, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah. Because sales, do you have the sales?
Well, I have numbers. I do too, but let's look at number sold, since you asked that. Sold listings year to date in Blount County. Last year 1,012. This year 963. So it's down almost 5%. So it's a few less. But there are other, like, median list price last year was 417,000. Median list price this year is 436. It's up 4.5%. The list price is up 4.5%.
Interesting. Yeah.
The median sold price was 393, almost 393.6 last year. It's right at 400,000 this year.
Okay.
So it's up about 1.6%, which I think is interesting. Just barely up, which is kind of what we thought after those great big jumps that we had a few years ago. It doesn't, I think when things level out here, it doesn't go back down. It just slows down and waits for everybody else to catch up. And I think that's where we are. Median days on market was 26 days. So half the houses sold in 26 days or less. This year it's 23 days. It actually went down a little bit. So they're selling just a touch faster, which I also thought was.
I was interested in the Market Pulse newsletter, which the East Tennessee Realtors puts out. They said that sales had increased. Now, this is all of East Tennessee. This is all of the 14 or 15 different counties that the East Tennessee Realtor serves. That sales were up, and that May was a really big month. But it had started to cool in June, whereas it typically peaks in June and July, especially the number of homes on the market. But part of the reason for that was because there were more sales. So there wasn't as much on the market, but there were more sales. So the absorption rate was lower.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So
yes.
More sales, even though there were more homes, like there were more homes being built and more homes out there. They were just so many of them were on the market, so the absorption rate was lower. Interesting cycle of events, though.
Yeah, when I look at it, I don't think it necessarily says that the real estate market is down, and it's not really up. It's just kind of muddling along right now, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, it almost seems like the new starts, the number of homes on market and the number of sales are sort of climbing together. So there's not really much of a difference, and it feels very steady. But I don't know. We'll see what the second half of this summer brings. I feel like the last 2 or 3 months here have been really strong, really fast paced. I wonder if it will slow down a little bit in July and August.
I still think it depends on what happens in the interest rates. And if they're seem to be holding steady. Michelle's last update, I think, was right around 6.4, a little over 6.4. So if it can trickle down again to, like I said, at the end of February, it was right at 6. So we can get into the low 6s. I think people just kind of settle into it is what it is and move on from there. But we'll see.
All right. Well, that's good stuff. Wait a minute. What did the studio audience think of?
I don't have a boo button on here, do I? Oh, there they are. Everybody, thank you. Thank you.
Here,
Yeah, please. There you go.
please have a seat. Any questions? I see that hand in the back.
Take questions after this.
All right. Anything else we need to talk about? How many? Are we going to just keep doing this weekly, or are we going to skip a couple weeks here?
We would bore people in if we did it every week.
That's right.
We'll see, though. We are actually planning on some changes coming.
Yeah. Hopefully so.
A little bit of a sneak peek there for people. We'll see what happens.
Hopefully some really good stuff in the near future.
If not changes, we at least have really good guests coming up. That's for sure.
We definitely have some really good guests. I wonder if we should ever give a sneak preview of guests. Maybe not.
Write in, everybody. Let us know what you think. Not you guys here in the studio.
Yeah, if that's right. On your way out the door, write down what
Fill
you
out a
think
piece of paper and say, yeah,
would be a good guess. And let me just tell you something. If you say you, it's probably not going to happen.
that's not going to happen. If you have somebody else, then yeah.
Yeah. So let us know.
All right, Eric, here we go.
Gosh.
It's your positive. Like, you got to be positive about it.
I'm positive that I will not get this
Feel
right.
good about starting or finishing. Because I would say that's a wrap on another episode.
Yep. Join us in 2 weeks for our next one.
Who will our next guest be?
And what's new in the real estate market?
And what topics will we cover?
God dang.
So close.
Well, let's find out.
Let's find out.
Thanks for listening to the Let's Be Blunt podcast. If you have questions or guest ideas, or if you'd like to sponsor a segment of our podcast, please send us an email at the Let's Be Blunt podcast at gmail.com.
I'm Brad Hepner.
And I'm Eric Rice.
And we call ourselves the Property Dads. As local realtors, we want you to know and love this community as much as we do. If you have questions about real estate, don't hesitate to call us at LeConte Realty at 865-268-4180. We'll be happy to help.